Three. Hello, everyone. This is John Tarr with Sister Zita Iwuoha. How do I pronounce your last name, Zita?
Iwuoha.
Okay. And you can see her website right there, right next to her name, zitahealthy.org. And I'm John Tarr, working with Zita in Healthy Beginnings. And today we're using a new platform to do our podcast. So this is going to be a little bit of an experiment for us. And Zita actually just came back from a trip to Nigeria about a month ago. And we posted up a blog, and this is kind of what she said on it. The ZHB 8th Annual Free Medical Clinic in Umuawuchi. Would you pronounce that for me? That the town?
Umuawuchi.
What is
Umuawuchi.
it? Boy, was nothing but a success. Planning for this event started out about 4 months ahead, with the board members holding a series of meetings and taking a few steps to secure adequate funding for the trip. Board members donated generously to it. We have been doing this medical mission trip annually, and each visit we go, we bring lots of medications, medical supplies, and some eyeglasses, clothing, cloth diapers for children. The trip takes over 25 hours from the USA to Africa, to where I'm going. So, tell me a little bit about it. What goes on this trip, and is this just once a year that you go?
Thank you so much, John. And thank you so much for all you've been doing for Zita's Healthy Beginnings. For our viewers, John has dedicated his life to really help us, the grass, as they say it, in building our website, monitoring our website. In fact, he is our website director, and he's really pretty much involved in everything ZHB is about. And he's also one of our board members. And I'm so happy, so blessed to have Jen. And he's a Christian too, to crown it all. So I am so really excited to be working with John, getting to know him better, and really enjoying his generosity and free spirit, trying to build Zita's Healthy Beginnings, ZHB, here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States, and Africa, Nigeria, right now. And the village community we're talking about is Umuawuchi, is in the Hituboma local government area of Imo State, and this is in the eastern part of Nigeria. So, as you all know, Zita's Healthy Beginning started 2016. What was the reason for that? We really wanted to improve the health of women and children. Because, as you all know, the report about maternal and child care is not really an impressive one. So we have mothers and babies really dying in their numbers, both here in the United States and elsewhere in the world, especially in the developing countries like Nigeria. So 2016, as a nurse and a midwife, I asked myself, prayed, reflected, asked, what should I do? And I was directed to really found this organization, Zita's Healthy Beginnings. And since that foundation started, we have really had a lot of people support us, especially in the area of going out to Africa to do our annual free medical clinic. So what we do, and when we go out there, for those of us who have no clue of what happens when one plans overseas trip, It's no fun. As a missionary, I have really enjoyed the traveling. That's one of my fun things to do. It doesn't matter where I'm traveling. But for the most part, I have traveled to really do work with women and children, pretty much. And that's what we do each time we go to Umuawuchi, Nihikuboma local government area of Imo State. And the preparations, it takes, like I said, the last one we had active and very intense meeting 4 months prior. But actually, the whole planning starts, when you do the like we did now, the next planning starts now, for next year. So it's a long planning because all we do and everything we use is what people donate. We don't have any resources that Zita's Healthy Beginnings is, getting outside having people like John and other people who are really donating their time, donating their money, donating everything they have, even prayer, to ensure that this trip, each time we do it, is a success. So we start by letting people know, letting our board members know what we want to do. We also put it out there, collecting individual contacts and reaching out to them through emails, phone calls. We also put it on social media, through our podcast. Sometimes we talk about it. GoFundMe, Giving Tuesday, all of this means, and of course, having a little bit of a conversation with people and other organizations, trying to share our story.
Hey,
Always,
Zita,
yes,
Zita,
yes.
what is the point of Zita Healthy Beginnings? What is your emphasis? Now, you're located in Pittsburgh, and you do a lot of stuff there, but you actually go to Nigeria. What is the emphasis in Nigeria?
So here in the United States, what we do, the healthcare system in the United States is excellent, excellent, I must say. But one of the challenge is that the accessibility of healthcare is not reachable actually to the minority group, especially the Black population. And so women are really getting underserved, and their children and their families. So you find out that when people don't receive the kind of care they need, what happens is it ends up in morbidity, I'm sorry, which leads to mortality. Now, so what we're doing here is advocacy, education, training of doulas, making sure that people understand the essence of really healthy mother, healthy baby, and what that means, collaborating with other organizations to make that happen. Now, in Africa, in addition to advocacy, education, training, we do free medical clinic like we do every year, and trying to educate women and men. And also, what we have planned, which is a big deal for us, is to eventually construct a maternity hospital. Because in Africa, you don't have any structure that really provides healthcare services to women and children. That does not exist. Especially this area I'm talking about. The few that exist miles away from this location is pretty expensive. It's not accessible because there's no transportation. And the scarcity of transportation is really impacting healthcare, especially among the women. And majority of them are really struggling. So it's hard for women to really get enough money to take care of their, families, let alone getting money to go to seek for medical care, especially when they're pregnant or they're ready to have their babies or after having babies. So you find out that a lot of these women cannot afford it, yet they are getting pregnant. And when they don't really get the care they need, what happens? You find complications not only in pregnancy, but during childbirth. And some of them have actually lost their lives in the process of giving birth. Now,
Wow.
remember,
Wow.
birthing is a joyful thing, it's not a death sentence. But we are finding out that sadly, a lot of women are going through pregnancy unprepared, unsupported. And what happens? The outcome is pretty poor, is pretty low, in the sense that the increase in mortality rate and even morbidity rate is really high, very, very high. And so trying to construct a maternity hospital is what we're hoping to accomplish, because what that means is that there's going to be a stable and steady health care services for these women.
So can I jump in real quick? So
Yes.
being pregnant in Nigeria can be fairly dangerous. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I
And
say that. Yes, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. Because a
okay,
lot of women get pregnant, they don't have enough nourishment. There isn't enough transportation to go seek health care. There isn't enough clinic or maternity hospitals where these women can go and access care. So what you see is a woman gets pregnant, she's struggling, her husband is struggling, the family is poor. She relies on the little, very minimal resources she has, which does not really pay a whole lot. And she decides to just wait
yeah.
and
So
rely on faith.
you're going along with the Christian saying of my people perish for lack of knowledge. So you're trying to bring in knowledge. And by
Yes.
doing that, you're training some of the women over there to be doulas. Can you explain what a doula is and what they do?
Yeah, so doula is actually a new name for an assistant midwife. In Nigeria, we don't have doulas. We have midwives, and we have what we call traditional birth attendants. That
Okay.
will be similar to doulas here in the United States. So, doulas in the United States actually get a lot of education. They're being trained. They're not really medically equipped to take birth or go through labor and delivery with a woman, but they provide emotional critical support to not only the woman, her family, her partner, and everybody else. So what this does is that it alleviates a lot of the pain and panic and stress that a pregnant woman goes through, through pregnancy. And they also help them to access care. Some of them will accompany the woman to go to the doctor's office, accompany her to actually be her advocate when it comes to taking decisions. What does she want? How does she want her birthing story and history and plan to be? So they do a whole lot here in the United States, and they have been recognized actually by the state and the federal government. So the care and everything else that they provide to these women are being covered. They're being reimbursed by the government and the insurance company. Now in Nigeria, such things do not exist. You have some little maternity clinics where most women go to have their babies, or to the traditional birth attendants, and nobody actually is. Every cost is on the woman and her partner or the family. So, but the registered midwives in Nigeria have all the training they need. They need to be able to take care of a woman from pregnancy until her baby is born, and even till the baby turns 5 years old. So that is the difference. Here in the United States, doulas are very much recognized, but they are not recognized in Nigeria. So what we have is registered midwives, and we have enough of them. But the problem is the services that they render are not being really paid for, and therefore they cannot work without being paid. And of course, because it's paying out of pocket, these women cannot really afford it.
Okay, so what are you trying to do? What is Zita's Healthy Beginnings trying to do? And I know you're training doulas here in the United States, but what are you trying to set up in Nigeria? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So what we're trying to do is, like I said here, you have healthcare facilities, you have hospitals, you have maternity hospitals, you have a whole lot, comprehensive care. But in Nigeria, you have very little. So what we're hoping to accomplish is, like I said earlier, is to build a maternity hospital where we can actually bring in the trained midwives, nurses, registered nurses, and also find a way of training our traditional birth attendants, educate them, because a lot of these women work in the remotest places, and that's where some of our women are. So if we train them, equip them, and train some community health workers who will really work hand in hand with the nurses and the doctors at the hospital, they will really help with health education, with referrals, with follow-up. And that's actually what we feel will really help to reduce the high mortality rate among women and children right now.
Okay. What is your job? You're the overall boss of all of it, both here in the United States and Nigeria. What do you actually do in the United States versus what you do in Nigeria?
Okay, so thanks for that question. So, what I do right here personally, I have a doctorate in nursing practice. I have worked in so many different capacities in healthcare systems. I have worked with mothers and babies in the hospitals. I've worked with babies in the NICU, neonatal intensive care unit. I have also worked in home care settings where you have the children with mentally challenged, physically challenged children that I take care of. I have also worked as a lactation consultant, and that is breastfeeding educator. So I help women, I train, I help them, I support them through pregnancy, I educate them. When they have their babies, I also make sure that these women are getting the support they need, especially in breastfeeding, because we have found out what is going on in the United States is that a lot of women are no longer buying into breastfeeding their babies for so many reasons. But we know that breast is best, breast milk is best. And so we are trying to help these women. So I work and I wear a lot of hats here as a registered nurse, as a lactation consultant, as someone with a doctorate in nursing practice is into education. So I do advocacy. I also give, attend conferences and educate. Is all about education, creating awareness, making sure that people understand what Zita's Healthy Beginnings is all about, and sharing my story with them, what actually inspired me to start this organization and what we can accomplish when people hear who we are and what we're doing, and they are able to support us in any way and everywhere. That all that is gearing towards is reducing the high mortality in women and children here in the United States.
So
Now,
you're basically a bridge between Africa and the United States, between
Absolutely.
Pittsburgh and your town. That town that you're talking about, is that the town you grew up in?
Yes, yes. The Umuawuchi is where I was born and bred in that little community. And I must say that growing up, there was a whole lot that kids did, mothers did locally that really supported them while they were pregnant. At that time, too, we did not have any healthcare resources of any sort at all. And but mothers actually relied a whole lot on family support. At that time, you have great grandma, grandma, community that are very strong and supportive. And what we're finding is with education, civilization, which is a good thing, but all of that support is really going away because people are getting more busy, finding their own, way and trying to make both ends meet, trying to survive, but also because you don't have the kind of system that will really encourage mothers or support mothers. So people are on their own pretty much right now, and the economy and inflation is not really helping. So a lot of people are struggling in Nigeria right now. And that has really trickled down to the local communities where you have absolutely nothing, in terms of resources for mothers and their families.
Okay. Um, well, I think that's why I'm on board. I've been helping Zita for a couple of years now. I built the website and I do some graphic arts for her. But we brought in a couple other people to help us. Someone that's going to be working with me for marketing, and we're bringing in a regular social media marketer. Um, we could make a lot of things beautiful and make a beautiful website, but we have been having a hard time trying to reach out and connect to the rest of the world. And that's what we're doing now. I think God has put it on us and brought in a couple of people here now to allow us to grow and to help this wonderful organization grow. And that's what we want to do. We want to be able to pair up with each other and see what we can do. And so Zita doesn't have to worry about the marketing and the website and all that kind of stuff. She can just concentrate on promoting and getting the medical care and the medical things set up. And then this group that we've got now is really kind of brand new, and we're really coming on board and got a lot of ideas. So we're going to start collaborating. And then we still will work with Zita, but we'll bring Zita in. And about once a week, we're going to get together and say, how can we promote this? How can we get the rest of the world on board? Because as you know, I'm from the United States, and the other two people in the marketing part are from the United States too. So we're trying to figure out, how do we reach the rest of the world? How do we connect to everybody else? So I'm very excited about it. I think Zita is too, and the other two people that we've got coming in here. Some of the things we're going to look forward to, and that's why we're really pushing the podcast now, is we're going to bring in lots of different people. We're going to be, as they begin to train the doulas, we're going to interview them. We're going to interview some of the people that are in the marketing team and some of the doctors and nurses. And we may even interview a lot of people in Africa. I think that would be very beneficial, and we can find out what they're doing and how are they promoting Zita's Healthy Beginnings. How is this going to look? I know they have a little farm now, and they're growing things. Tell us a little bit about that. The little farm.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked. So when we first started, when I had this dream, I thought about how can we sustain, what is the means of sustainability for this hospital? when it's eventually built. So I thought about, because in my locality, I grew up in the farm actually. We were raised in the farm. We started, but each time we come home from when we were in elementary school, you go to the farm. And we are doing that every single day because there are things going on. You see that they're harvesting or planting or weeding or doing all kinds of stuff. So we were always on the farm. So I got used to it. And I must say that at some point I got tired of going to the farm because it takes a lot of energy and sometimes you have to climb a lot of hills, from go to the valley to pick up the palm fronds, and then you have to put them in your head and climb a whole hill, or cassava or yam, or you name it. So but I was really raised to understand that that if you want to survive, you're going to actually use what you have. And that was what my parents did. And the other people in the village at the time were able to cultivate the land, make sure that everything we found and we cultivated, we used as well. Vegetables, talk about fruits and grains and yams and all of that, cassava and so forth. So, and I'm like, okay, now that I have come out educated and everything else, I still know what my root is like. I still know what really helped us to survive. And that was farming. So I thought about it. And when I was starting off, a few of our supporters didn't really understand it. But at some point, one of our biggest donors came along, Johannes. And he lived here in the United States, but he is someone that understands what farming is about. In fact, that is at peace with nature. So I shared my dream with him, and he said to me, we had, a few conversations back and forth and back and forth. And he said to me he was interested. And he asked me if we have any piece of land. And I said, yes, we do. And he said, okay, how much would that cost? And how much do I think we can start with? So we had a couple of meetings with people at home, and we found some people who were able to donate their land, relations of mine, and we got the like about 4 or 5 acres of land, and I told him, and he gave us a lump sum money, to start. And this piece of land where we started like 2 years ago was never cultivated in the past 39 to 40 years. It was laying fallow. And that explains a whole lot how people are really abandoning what has really helped them, to look for, greener pasture, which is very far reached. So anyway, Joanna supported us, and 2 years ago we cleared the land and started planting bananas. We started planting bananas, plantain, vegetables, all kinds of grains, tomatoes, and all that. And we are still growing that as we speak. What we need right now is to expand it. Expanding it is also like fencing it, making sure we put more, plants, and also add to our poultry, because there are a whole lot of people that get in there and they're stealing stuff as a result of hunger, and poverty. But we really have the obligation to really protect this farm, to make sure that the people who need it are the ones that are receiving stuff from it. And then we also want to make sure that we grow stuff there that we can use and also sell at a reduced price. So that way people can come along and learn how to farm again and be educated. And in fact, one of our highest expectation and plan is to make this site a visiting site where other students, even from universities who are into agriculture, can come and have their practical experience. And as they are having their practical experience, we will be having midwives, students as well on the side, getting education on the side of that maternity hospital. So these are all the plans that I have, and I know that, please God, all this will come to realization with time.
Yeah, I know a garden is a big deal. My wife and I have a very big raised garden in the back of our home. And it's someplace that I go, and if I'm trying to isolate myself and get away from a lot of things that are happening, I go out to the garden and visit with my squash. But
Nice.
in addition to that, we get really great vegetables and it's really good food. But I can see this would be a big part, and it will be a big part moving forward. I think it's a great idea. Now, if you go to Zita's website, go to the blog, and the blog is we explain what's going on with Zita Healthy. We explain what's happening, the trips we're taking, the people we're trying to interview. It really gets people up to date on what's going on within the organization. So go there. There's some blogs we've written. We're going to be writing a lot more, talking about different things. We're going to be doing a lot more podcasts explaining things too. So we've got a lot of things, but like I said, we're pretty excited about the marketing and the strategy that we've got. We're like the Zita's Healthy Beginning in the United States, but they need help over there. They got a lot of people that live there that are coming on board to help. Zita, can you tell me a little bit about your trip? What does it take to go over there? Who do you connect with? And who do you meet with when you go over there? And what do you go for 2 weeks?
Yeah, so the maximum we spend is like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And what we do is we connect. We have a medical team. Although this time we went, we really lost a few of our medical team members, especially the 2 doctors. Our medical director moved away to outside outside Nigeria with his family, and also the other doctor. These are people that have really helped us to organize, to really carry out this our free medical clinic seamlessly. But because of the tough situation, the financial challenges in Nigeria, people are beginning to really migrate, especially the nurses and the doctors, unfortunately. And we happen to have 2 of them move at the same time. And so that really impacted us. But what was good about it was we got quickly, with the help of our director, the board of one of our board members, Mr. Kingsley Nwachukwu. He was able to get in touch with other doctors, and I was also able to get more doctors and nurses through my friends here. And we were able, actually, in the whole, we had about 8 doctors and I think about 8 to 9 nurses, who helped us this time. And so recruiting, planning, it all takes a lot of time because transportation is not really easy. And when you say, yeah, you're going to call, yes, you can call, but if the other person's phone is not reachable, you really have to really spend a lot of time calling. And some people don't have the financial support to put their phone on all the time, especially with WhatsApp, which we know is much, much easier with communication. But people don't have the account, they don't have the minutes, and they know what I'm talking about. You and I might not understand it because we have our services and we pay for it monthly. It is not so in Nigeria.
Right.
Nigeria, everything is cash and carry. So if you have your money, you're able to get online. And sometimes when you have your money, you're not even able to get access. So that whole stress of trying to call people, the time difference as well. We are I think 5 hours behind Nigerian time right now. So you have to put all of that in place. So it took a lot of energy, time, mental, really mental energy, as well as physical energy to get all the people that we needed to talk to, all the logistics, to put all of that in place took a lot of time and more so resources as well. So, and that's why we always rely on, our supporters who make sure that, each time we go, that we have enough supplies, we have enough medications, we have enough of everything we need, because really the need is great. And this time around, we served up to 393 people with comprehensive care, I would
What does
say.
that What does that mean when you do three? How many people did you say? 300 and
393 people. So we
almost
provided them with,
400.
yes, we
So
provided them with.
what does that look like? How long does it take you to go through that many people to
It
try to?
will take a whole day because, like, say here in the United States, a doctor is supposed to see like maximum in a day would be like 15 or 20 people. But then if you're seeing this amount of people, number of people in 2 days, you can imagine. So it took us the whole day actually to see people. So we spent 2 days, 2 full days of walking, not even taking a break, except 15 minutes. You stand up and get something to eat, and then you run back. And also consider the transportation, because a lot of the people who came to help us with this all came from different cities, from different states as well. So for people to get to the location took them not less than 2 to 3 hours to get there, which meant that people got up early in the morning so that they can be there by 8 o'clock. And then by the time we are finishing, it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening for people to make the same trip back, and to come back the next morning. So there's a lot of sacrifice that people make to really make sure that whatever we contribute here in the United States really gets to the people. And I'm not even counting the, air ticket, because you will have to pay for your air ticket. And if you're carrying excess luggage, which happens most times, you still have to pay. So, and then when we get to Nigeria, to Lagos, where we land, you still have to fly to the next city, to the closest city, where you have the plane from Lagos to Owerri. That is the last where we can land, that is closer to the village. And from Owerri to my village will take you another hour and a half. And if there's traffic and bad road, you can spend 2.5 hours on the road. So that is, it adds up in the end. And coupled with the fact that you don't have the simple resources like clean water. Everything is purchased, toilet paper, every single thing is purchased from the city, because what we have in the village is not something that, one can actually use when you're talking about health and healthcare. So really, it takes a whole lot when you think about the expense, the timing, and everything else. Yeah, so that's it takes a lot, and that's why we plan ahead of time. We also ask both local people and people here to help, with giving us financial support. And then the local people, this time we had people who donated even some supplements for the babies. And we were really some local pharmacies were able to donate to our organization, and they really supported us. And we are so thankful, and we hope that that will continue in the future, because whatever we bring from here is not usually enough, so no matter how big we take stuff over, that's always greater need. And so if we're able to get more local supporters, that will really go a long way. And if eventually, like I'm talking about, building a maternity hospital, then we can stock stuff ahead of time and make sure that we have it when we need it.
Now, do you have a couple of people that work for Zita's Healthy Beginnings in Nigeria, that they work like half part-time or full-time? Do you have?
Actually, we don't have anybody. That's what we need right now, honestly. But unfortunately, we don't, because we don't have the financial, even to pay them the stipend that they will, need on a monthly basis. We don't have it. So we don't have anybody who is working part-time or full-time for us, but we actually need them, including training community health workers. The only people we have is the medical team that always come annually when we are, going for free medical treatment.
Right. Okay. So is that your main goal right now, is to get somebody on the ground over there that's working?
Yes.
And I'm sure it's that way for you too, because you're not really getting paid much to do all of this. You're trying to,
Yeah.
God, we're leaning on God a lot. How do you do this? What direction do you got to
Yes.
take? And
Yes.
the board of directors and all kinds of things. So I can see where this is just barely getting off the ground right now, but there's a gigantic need for this. All these people that need health care, especially for women that are pregnant and their babies. I'm sure it's when people get diseases and stuff like that, it's terrifying. How do we deal with this? Can you see this? Is it starting to grow compared to what it was even a couple of years ago? Have you? Does it seem like you're starting to get your feet under you?
In terms of getting getting more supporters, I must say that we are beginning to have an increase even at the board members, because of before last year, we had a few board members that were not really active. Some were sick, others were like involved with other family activities. And but since last year, we have really regrouped, and we got to more newer members who are really interested, because what is important is getting people who have the interest and time, because really to volunteer takes a lot of time out of anybody's time. So now we have many board members who are more committed, both financially and otherwise. And that is really helping. And it makes me happy, because now I feel like I have a little grip on what is going on. And then I have a group of people to fall back on and talk to. And we are continuously also moving ahead with a lot of plans, especially the plan to look for resources to build the maternity hospital. So we are all engaged in making sure that we communicate what the vision is, what the mission is, with our friends and families, and also reaching out to other organizations, both local and international, to see who is out there with any kind of resource to collaborate with us. We also had a Rotary International. It's here in Pittsburgh. It's also in Nigeria. And through Julie, we were able to connect with them. Actually, this time we went, I was able to meet with them, with one of the board members. So we had a meeting, and we shared a lot. And I am looking forward to an opportunity to collaborate with the Rotary International in Owerri, and that is my state.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. Um, if anybody that's listening to this podcast and you have any ideas on how Zita's organization can get more financial help or get more people on board that may know other people, we could use that help. We are um, we're in that area, and you can go to zitashealthy.org and you can contact Zita herself. This podcast will be posted up on YouTube, and there is contact information on there. It's going to have her website, her telephone number, her email, things like that. That if you want to become part of what we're doing here, or if you have somebody, you have some kind of a recommendation, that's how we grow. That's how it happens with volunteers and stuff like that. So if you have any ideas at all, get a hold of Zita, please. Email her, get on her website, participate. However, we're going to be going in big time and trying to get more people to participate. That's where we're headed. So we've got a lot of ideas. If you're good in marketing and you'd like to become part of our marketing group, we sure would love to have you. We're going to be getting on all kinds of different social media, not only here in the United States, but worldwide too. Yes. And our website is a big deal. It's like the hub of our marketing strategy and how to get out and get all throughout the rest of the world. So we're going to be doing more of that. If you know anything about graphic arts, website design, I sure could use some help in that area also. Social media, if you're good with social media, and if you have other connections that would be really beneficial that we could connect with, not only in the United States, but other places in the world, as well as Nigeria, but other like Africa and Europe and all kinds of things. We could use the help. So I'm going to just toss it out there. And, Zita and I met a couple of years ago. We were part of a marketing group. And when I heard about it, I was like, ooh, this is something interesting. I'm 72 years old, and I can't get around a lot anymore, not like I used to. I'm kind of disabled, but this was something that I could do and become a part of. And it really is worth it. So that's where we want to go. Zita, we only have about 12 minutes left here. Could you tell us what are some of the new things or some of the things that we can look forward to in the future?
Yeah, so there's a lot we can look forward to in the future. And one of the ones that I know that is on top of my head and I can't wait to make sure we have is to construct a maternity hospital. And why I'm saying that is because of the need. The need is great. And going like once a year to give a free medical treatment is not enough. It's not cutting it. Like some of the women say to me, Sister Zita, thank you for all you're doing, but please, is there any way you can do this more often or build the hospital that we've been waiting for? It broke my heart to really listen to these women because I understand it. So what I'm hoping that will happen is that by God's grace, we will have more people who are eager to help us find the resources, do fundraising to get the money to establish this, construct this hospital. The other thing I have in mind also is that if we can get our farm, the plantation we have right now, secured by a wire fence, and make sure that we have it protected from intruders, and then have the opportunity, both animals and humans, and then have the opportunity to expand it, planting other crops, there, and also establishing our poultry there too. So we have a whole lot of plans as far as the agriculture and farming goes, but we cannot do that without enough resources. And then lastly, what I was hoping also to do is to see us have a school of midwifery when we build our the maternity hospital. I want to see us constructing a school of midwifery where young women, especially the local women, can get trained, educated, so they can have the opportunity to give back to their family. One of the doctors that helped us during this our event was born in my village, although her family lives outside in the city. But it was so amazing, exciting to see this young woman coming back as a doctor to serve the community in that capacity. So I want to see a situation where in the next 5-6 years we have young women from Nigeria really going to Umuawuchi to be trained as midwives and giving back, because that's the only way we can really help our mothers, help our families, help our communities. So those are the things that are on top of my head right now, and I'm looking forward to getting people who can rally around with us to source the means to accomplish these goals. Thank you.
Yes, very good. I noticed here too, I was reading the blog. Go to the blog, we put a bunch of photographs onto the blog too. And we're going to be looking at how can we put some photographs on when we're talking here on our podcast. So we got a lot of cool stuff, and we got a lot of videos. YouTube, we have an introduction video that has photographs on it. It said on the podcast or on the blog, malnutrition remains a challenge among the under 5 years old children. So malnutrition, trying to get the little people, little boys and girls and the babies, enough food. Is that say it all right there too? Not just medical, but enough regular food for these.
Yeah, and that's why we're pushing the farm. If you grow your vegetables, you grow your beans, you grow your rice, you grow all kinds of stuff, pepper, tomatoes, that goes a long way.
Does it? Does it?
Yes. But if you don't have stuff like that, and of course you don't have the money to purchase them, what happens to the little ones? They go without. And then with time, they become malnourished. They're not able to go to school and understand what the teacher is teaching because they're hungry. And then the body starts to give way to diseases, and some of them don't make it, and it's worse under 5 years of age. So that's why this situation is critical, and we can't wait, because these conditions and this poverty and all of that, they're not waiting. So the earlier we get some intervention going on, the better for us and the better for this population.
So do you have somebody that is the main farmer, the guy, somebody that's ahead of the whole thing when it comes to growing food?
Yes, we have a manager who is also, he was trained, he did agriculture in one of the universities. So right now he's the one manning the farm, but he has to pay people to actually work on the ground. He cannot do it alone. So
Right.
he has to pay people, hire people to come and work. And
Could he
we
do,
also go ahead.
does he, could he do like a trade with them on a certain amount that they help him grow that they get to keep? Or does it
Yeah,
have to be?
that is the whole idea. Yeah, that is happening in a very little how do I want to put it? In a very low scale, because the yield we're having now is not that much, but the plan, so when people come, they really want you to pay them upfront, because they need money to go take care of their families. But yes, we try to also compensate people with the harvest, and that's why we're trying to protect the place, because when you spend all that money and then at the end it's being stolen, you don't even take care of, you don't get anything out of it. You can't even pay the manager, and then the people that we wanted to benefit from it are not benefiting because some people are stealing it. It's not really a good thing. So that's why we are struggling to see how we can safeguard what we have so
Yeah,
it can
right.
meet our needs. Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody's starving, I can see that where they're going to try to, that's food that's just sitting there. They're going to want to feed their family.
Right.
So you're going to have the security. I'm
Right.
sure he knows all about that, what direction you're going to have to go. So yeah, you've got a lot of concerns, a lot of things on a lot of different directions, Zita. I just want to tell people that we are going to try to do this right now, these podcasts about every other week. So we're going to try to do 2 a month, and we're going to bring in all kinds of different guests that will be talking about a lot of different things. I'd like to interview the farmer too over there in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't mind coming on and talking and things like that, and maybe other people that are part of what's going on. Um, Somebody that is close to you over there that would like to talk about it. I'd like to get Julie, who is a great person for us to talk with. So we have a lot of ideas. So like I said before, if you hear this and you go, wow, I'd like to become a part of that, please contact us and we will bring you right in. We like to collaborate, don't we, Zita?
Yes, we do.
So
We
we're
do.
closing it in on the end here. Again, I will recommend for you to come to Zita's Healthy Beginnings, which is Sister Zita, and her website's just a little bit different than Zita's Healthy Beginnings. It's Zita.
Zitahealthy.org.
Yeah, it's
Zitahealthy.org.
yep.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
Yes.
And come and visit. And Zita, we will talk to you soon again. And thank you for being here and allowing me to interview you. So we'll be doing it again soon.
Thank you so
Okay?
much, John. I really appreciate your time and your dedication to Zita's Healthy Beginnings. And I
Yeah.
pray God to continue to reward you and support you and give you the wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that little prayer there.
Thank
I
you.
want to let everybody know that we're a Christian organization, Zita especially, and I'm a Christian also. And we pray for God supporting us and His
Yes.
threefold cord to help us promote this because these are His children too. These are His babies that He wants to protect and grow on a healthy scale. I look at it as those that God has given much to, He expects much from. So
Yes.
that's where we're at right now too. So, okay, Zita, see you later,
Thank you so
sweetie.
much.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
we'll see you
All right.
next month.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.